welcome back to Goosebumps HorrorTown. This is part 0 to Event 33, the introduction, and the final one for 2024, as sad as it is. We only got like 4 updates, which is, yeah, not a whole lot, which, better than nothing, but, that's like 1 per season, which is not the greatest. Honestly, I wanted to see much better quality, but we get what we get, right? Anyways, if you've seen my tease in the part 4, you probably would have noticed that I did some things. Namely, first, I went to Curly and had him do a certain quest. He looks at certain books, and the one that I had was one of the books that we have yet to see in the game. I think the only one we have left to see in the game besides Slappy World, and that is Hall of Horrors. So, I was going to say Hall of Horror book was coming out, and I was focusing on Mrs. Mars' cat, Mr. Muffins. As you probably know why. It's because those 2 things, there's only one book that happens to be a Hall of Horrors book, and well, the pun police came in. Because the event is called, as I knew it, Santa Claus. Claus spelled in C-L-A-W-S. Yep. It's a pun, alright. And this is the event we got going on for ourselves. The book itself is quite interesting because it actually had a different cover, to say the like this is the main cover you're seeing, and this is the full artwork that he decided to make of it. But before it actually became official, it was actually supposed to be a spin-off to the Goosebumps Horrorland series, right? In fact, the first book looked something like this. And, of course, they decided to rearrange that, so they changed the background cover. But again, there's the Goosebumps Horrorland Hall of Horrors, because it was supposed to be attached to horror. But then they dropped it and just had Halls of Horrors be its own thing. So, it's weird. But, go ahead and talk about that in a moment. But, let's go ahead and, I guess dive into the story. So, here's how it goes. So, the book begins with a short introduction from Horrorland, or Horrorland Horror, who calls himself the Story Keeper. The gimmick of it is that we're in Horrorland, and there's a place called Hall of Horrors, where the Story Keeper brings kids in as they tell their stories. So, this guy's basically the, Curly or, Slappy in Slappy World type of thing, where he's the narrator. So, he introduces us to the main character, Mickey Ko, who decided to talk, he has a friend named Amanda, decided to take care of Mrs. Kaplan's cat while she was away. There was a little black cat named Bella. So it seems like, they were having fun with her and all that stuff, and, she seems to be weird, just being typical cat things, but unfortunately, during this time, his friend Amanda accidentally left the door open, which made Bella ran outside and unfortunately got hit and killed by a large truck. And, of course, truck apologized. The truck itself, no. The truck driver apologized on the whole ordeal, kind of like thinking like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was the thing, right? But they were like, we can't have Mrs. Kaplan know about what happened. So they decided to see if they can go to some sort of pet store to get a copy. Sure enough, they come across something called Cat Heaven, which was this weird pet store. So they go inside, and there's a room that says keep out. So they, seem to look, and, all the cats are completely silent. And it just so happens that one of those cats looked exactly like Belle. And, they said they didn't want to sell this particular cat. It's like, oh no, you can't do that at all. Can't. But they found a way to, they tried to get it, but they didn't allow it. So he just took the cat and accidentally took a lot of the other cats with him too. So they ended up bringing, Bella 2 back home. And seems like she's adjusted herself, but, Bella 2 seems to be acting weird. She starts, slashing her shirt. Pet fish is gone. She's acting like a very bad kitty. And more or less what's been going on is that she's been acting kind of weird and, kind of like she's attacking and like all this stuff, and it seems so bad, like bad news basically. And long story short, the Kaplan family came back, and he basically told her what the situation happened, and it was soon revealed that Bella was a special cat because she died when she was hit by a truck, and the cat heaven is literally heaven where you can get the cat. And the reason why the cat's acting so strange is because only the owners of that cat can take that pet with them, right? Because he wasn't the owner and he took her, she starts acting like very bad, and thus caused a whole thing to come into play. So the name Cat Heaven literally is heaven. And needless to say, now they have this whole evil cats there, and they don't know what's going on, what to do. And it turns out, the thing is, the cats are fine so long as they're inside, but if they leave outside the house, they reenact their deaths. So them getting hit by a truck, that's how she died originally. So therefore, if she gets out of the house, she'll just get hit by a truck again, and then she'll just reappear back in Cat Heaven, and all things are saved. So of course, he decides to use his pet mouse, and this distracted to have all the cats leave the house, and sure enough, yay, they did it. They're all gone. They're gonna get themselves die and go back there, and then all she can do, Miss Kaplan, can go back and get the cat. So good, all done, all said and done. And it ends with him coming to see a sign called Mouse Heaven and decide to see if he can find his pet mouse Zorro, and wonders if you take him back home. But of course, in any case, goes back to the storekeeper, who decides to give a gift to him visiting the horror town, and it came in the carrying case to be named Shredder. Then after that, the storekeeper then introduced another character who will be taking part. So this is how it goes. It's basically the storekeeper is like, alright, thank you kid, go out the door, and now here comes the next kid, which is basically the teaser to the next story. So that's how that works there. So there you go. Right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the actual patch notes and talk about what exactly is going on here. So this is what it says. Mickey, a shy guy from school, invites Lucy to his house to meet Bella, his new kitten. Dustin sneaks into the party and scares Bella. She has now escaped and in danger. What will happen to her? Why is she giant now? I guess he smelled it wrong, but it's supposed to be a giant. Come to Horror Town and find out. New content, the 12 stories, character, meet Mickey and his cat Bella. Bella is really cute and just want to have a good old time. Scratching some Christmas presents, of course. Monsters, Bella is acting very weird lately. Wait, is she becoming a monster? Let's find out. The items that we're going to get is a cat sweater, cat bed, mouse toy, fist bone, and slashed gift. Decorations include frozen lake, box of toys, Eldritch cat wall, and bird cage. Mutant cats, and more. Animations include Bad Kitty, Try Not to Get Eaten, Sleep in the Tower, and more. Complete the event and collect creepy rewards. Now what's funny about that is that somebody actually said he thought he said crappy rewards instead of creepy, but whatever. But yeah, so these are the two characters we're going to get. So Mickey here and Bella, the cat. And it's going to be quite interesting, especially talking about Mickey himself, because I had a bit of... his design is interesting, and I decided to do something at a protest. I don't know if it'd be humorous, but I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. I might drop the act at some point, but yeah, let's just say having another hero character, especially a human one, not really keen on with that, but that's what it is. Anyways, that's it for now. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it was somewhat informative as you speak. Some background history on what exactly this update's about and what it's based off. Kind of a rough idea, but you get the picture. Anyways, I've been Grim, and this has been the Horror Town of Santa Claus event summary for Part 0, 101, Event 33. A bunch of old stuff. So, yeah, enjoy. Holidays are coming indeed.